Okay, so I've been installing various bug fix mods and other stuff, but nothing to significantly massively change the game because I want to still be playing like basically the game. Although I was compelled by the fact that like the game director, Josh Sawyer, apparently has a like mod that specifically is supposed to, I don't know, rebalance the game in certain ways, but it's like it's from the creator of the game, so it seems like an interesting update to have. If you God, I did not plan these sentences out and I just started speaking and my just completely crashed and burned immediately trying to say what I was trying to say. But basically this is the Viva New Vegas mod pack, but as you can see I kind of like mostly installed the bug fix and utility chunks of it, and then in these later bits I installed like probably less than half of the suggested mods because it didn't go that far. But I did do the J Sawyer Up Ultimate Edition, which is a pretty big overhaul mod, but I didn't do really any of the other overhaul mods. And then there's some cut content mods in here, just kind of see how it goes. Living Desert is supposed to make the sort of give you more interesting encounters rather than just being attacked by wastelanders at random over and over again or something, but I don't know. I did some level of discretion here, but this is also still the most mods I've ever installed in any game because I don't really do mods. And if I hit run right now and the game doesn't work, I'm gonna cry because I've been doing this for too long and would like the game to work now. Please.
War never changes. When atomic fire consumed the Earth, those who survived did so in great underground vaults. When they opened, their inhabitants set out across the ruins of the old world to build new societies, establishing villages, forming tribes. As decades passed, what had been the American Southwest united beneath the flag of the new California Republic, dedicated to old world values of democracy and the rule of law. As the Republic grew, so did its needs. Scouts spread east, seeking territory and wealth in the dry and merciless expanse of the Mojave Desert. They returned with tales of a city untouched by the warheads that had scorched the rest of the world, and a great wall spanning the Colorado River. The NCR mobilized its army and sent it east to occupy Hoover Dam and restore it to working condition. But across the Colorado, another society had arisen under a different flag. A vast army of slaves forged from the conquest of 86 tribes, Caesar's Legion. 4 years have passed since the Republic held the dam, just barely, against the Legion's onslaught. The Legion did not retreat. Across the river, it gathers strength. Campfires burn, training drums beat. Through it all, the New Vegas Strip has stayed open for business, under the control of its mysterious overseer, Mr. House, and his army of rehabilitated tribals and police robots. You are a courier, hired by the Mojave Express to deliver a package to the New Vegas Strip. What seemed like a simple delivery job has taken a turn for the worse.
You got what you were after, so pay up.
You're crying in the rain, Pally.
Guess who's waking up over here?
Time to cash out.
Will you get it over with?
Maybe cons kill people without looking them in the face. But I ain't a fink. Dig? You've made your last delivery, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this scene. From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
The sequel to the game that starts with your birth. A game that starts with your death.
You're awake. How about that? Whoa, easy there, easy. You've been out cold a couple of days now. Why don't you just relax a second? Get your bearings. Let's see what the damage is. How about your name? Can you tell me your name?
It's another game where the opening pre-rendered cutscene looks worse than the rest of the game. There is like a starkness to like how it is a pure black background and three characters standing completely flat, almost like they're at the same distance away and facing you at the same time. It's like there's like an awkwardness to the opening cutscene of Vegas that makes it look like almost like a source filmmaker like animation that just some fan made. But it has the iconic line, "Truth is, truth is, kid, the game was rigged from the start." I'm so good at typing and saying unrelated things at the same time.
I can't say it's what I'd have picked for you, but if that's your name, that's your name. I'm Doc Mitchell. Welcome to Goodsprings. Now, I hope you don't mind, but I had to go rooting around there in your noggin to pull all the bits of lead out. I take pride in my needlework, but you'd better tell me if I left anything out of place. How'd I do?
Bleh. The Reflectron, it's supposed to be a mirror. I don't like them. Man, Bethesda faces are just a trip and a half. Probably should just cover it with face. I mean, cover it with hair, honestly. That'd fix a lot. Cover it with face. Good job. Oh, it's just randomizing everything but their hair. Okay. That's certainly an approach. Granted, we're never going to see this guy's face ever again. That's what young looks like, apparently. The shape and tone. Eye color. Holy shit, I can't even see the change happening. I can scroll in a bit. It's such a slight change that it's like, it feels pointless to even try. It's really funny. Oh, hair's over here. This is the blast back. Balding. You can scroll it around a little bit. Bedraggled. Blast back. Buzz cut. Buzz saw. Clean cut. Comb over. This is back in the era of video games where you were especially likely to have incredibly skin-tight hair. Or stuff that's just like very fused into a specific shape. The Unsettler, the Warhawk, the Waster. Some of these definitely already feel pretty similar to each other, don't they? Backwater. But the bottom of the screen's kind of hard to see for this purpose. The Beatnik. Bristly Cool. The Cavalry. Chairman Chin Dust. Wait. I was thinking, yeah, that really is a dusting. Daddy-O. Dashing Rogue. I'm appreciating just the sheer number of names, I guess. The Man's Man. What they claim to make. Some of these get really similar, actually. I'm not. I don't think I was prepared for how many fucking facial hair options there are. This is made somewhat funnier by the fact that we know we're never gonna see this guy again. Like, there's no one whose face you see less than the protagonist of a Fallout game. Like, you will immediately forget what I made here. We all know this. The Bar Brawler. Chin Strip. He looks like he's in a band. What is this? I don't think it's possible to make a character that I'll want to look at for the most part. Here's where we're gonna have more fun. We can fully commit. Your eyebrows are the same color. Why did they do this to me? Why did they do that to me? Why would you make the eyebrows the same color? Oh, look at, you can see, you can count the polygons that make up the side of his head. Look at that line. Anyway. Sure, are you sure you want to be this character? That's the meanest thing anyone's ever asked me.
Well, I got most of it right anyway. Stuff that mattered. Okay. No sense keeping you in bed anymore. Let's see if we can get you on your feet. Good. Why don't you walk down to the end of the room? Over by that vigor tester machine there. Take it slow now. It ain't a race.
Okay, so this will be the third Fallout game we played on this channel. I played 4 when it was new, and I played 1 like a year or 2 ago. And now we're at New Vegas.
So far. Go ahead and give the vigor tester a try.
I figured I'd get to what is often considered one of the best RPGs of all time sooner or later. Or often considered. Did not expect it to happen literally while I'm still in the middle of playing Planescape Torment, so I'm just juggling the top of the genre at the same time. The funny thing is that I have, in fact, actually already played Fallout New Vegas before, but I can't remember shit about it. I remember that Vegas exists. I remember the cons, and I remember some other, like, I remember the vague layout of, like, the factions that exist, and the intro, obviously. But I would struggle to say anything specific. I kind of think this game might be one of the ones, because I played it back in college, since that's when it came out. Like 12 years ago or something. And like back then, this happened with Nier also, the first Nier. I was like more likely to not be entirely paying attention to the games that I was playing. I remember playing a lot of Xbox 360 games in voice chat with other people and just kind of hanging out. Like people that I was not playing the game with, but just kind of existed. And then there was like the kind of the relatively new discovery of like the idea of watching YouTube videos and multitasking and podcasts. And it was like, I was making poor consumption choices where I was not really fully absorbing the things that I was actually playing back then because I was multitasking and so on. And this was like right up to like the year or two before I started doing Let's Plays. So there's like a window there where there's games I played there that I might as well have not played, essentially. And yeah, I struggle to remember anything specific about Vegas. But what I do remember about New Vegas is that at the time, it was fairly common for the game to have a reputation of being the shitty spin-off of Fallout 3, which this is like nails on a chalkboard for a lot of people, because like it's not only is it more closely tied to the creators of the original Fallouts than Fallout 3 is, but it is now it's commonplace to shit on Fallout 3 and praise Fallout New Vegas, and then probably still shit on Fallout 4 and especially 76 and so on. And I have big problems with Fallout 76. Fallout 4 in particular. I've never played 76. But I think part of the reason why I didn't especially pay a lot of attention to Vegas was that, one, it was less novel at the time because I'd already played, like, Oblivion was mind-shattering, crazy, incredible, and then Fallout 3 was also like, because like Oblivion was like my first ever open world RPG, probably. Is like, that was an incredible game doing stuff that I had never seen before, even though you could have seen stuff before if you just played like Morrowind and other games back then. But the idea of like a world that has like NPCs following a schedule and that can be shot and other stuff like that was all completely new to me in Oblivion. And then Fallout 3 took essentially Oblivion and took it into this setting that is even more enjoyable than vague fantasy green fields land. So at the time, 3 was like insane to me when I was a teenager. So I don't have the same perspective that people might have had potentially if they knew what a Fallout game even was at that point. And I think that's really common, speaking of like the popularity of the Bethesda Fallouts. I think a significant percentage of the people that played them didn't even really know what Fallout was until 3 came out, due to the gap between games and the massive style change and all that. But when Fallout New Vegas came out, it was infamously this rushed, messy project. Like, all that was going on was you would just see all these videos of like missing weapons and textures and broken visuals and the game glitching out and crashing constantly and so on. And it is known for being unfinished, in a way somewhat comparable to like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, another game that people like constantly tout as being incredible. Like, both of these games have a similar situation where they were released very unfinished because they were made under less than ideal circumstances, which makes it all the more impressive that they are in any way what they are. But people playing the game at the time that are not exactly genre savvy and also didn't know what the future was going to be, like me, just was like, it's just a filler game just to kill some time with. And I don't think I really gave the game that much attention to begin with, just accepting the idea that this was like a rushed spin-off cash-in sequel to Fallout 3, and then one day a real game will come out that gets to have a number on it again. Boy, did that backfire, because by the time Fallout 4 came out, I knew that I did not like it, so I'd completely changed by then. So is how it goes. Anyway, I did not necessarily come into here with a specific build in mind, which I probably should have done. So we can scroll through these as we go, right? Do arrow keys work? They do. Strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, luck. That's the special. I made them so I have played almost every RPG ever with a high charisma stat because winning at conversations feels like one of the most obviously effective and helpful things you could do in any kind of RPG. And so in Fallout 1, I was like, you know what? The time has come. I'm going to finally test the limits of these games and see what happens if I go less in that kind of direction and actually get to see, like, the different outcome than the usual experience I'm used to having. That was a horrible idea. Everybody hated me in that game. I missed several party members, and I just generally had a rough time because I did not know what I was getting myself into with Fallout 1. And I'm not sure if which would I'd prefer to do here, necessarily. Let's see. Strength. Melee, unarmed, inventory, weight, damage, weapon effectiveness. There's mostly stuff that does... Do I want to be that's interesting, actually. Do I want to be a melee Fallout character? I have never been a melee character in a Fallout game. That's interesting, kind of. I'm absolutely always a gun character. I think I played 3 and New Vegas and 4 as like a charismatic sort of stealth-heavy character. So being kind of dumb and loud might be fun. Perception, explosives, lockpick, energy weapons, accuracy, compass range. Can these go down? They can. A wary trout. Look at all these names. Big-eyed tiger. Monocled falcon. Sniper hawk. An eagle with a telescope. Of course. Let's see. Energy weapons. Endurance. Unarmed, health, resistant, survival. Let's go into strength and endurance a bit. If I'm going, maybe I will be a melee character in a Fallout game for the first time ever. That could actually be fun. Barter, speech, companion, nerve. Science, repair, medicine, skill points. It is nice to have skill points. Agility, guns, sneak, speed, action point regeneration. And AP, isn't AP primarily VATS? I do wonder, like, what if I don't make myself a particularly good stealth character? Luck. All skills, critical hits, enemy mishaps. This seems like a thing you don't want to actively mess with. But... let's see, two-headed coin flip, 21 leaf clover, leprechaun's foot, lucky 7, stacked deck, coin flip, spilled salt, sickly albatross, broken gypsy mirror. You can't say that. 13 pitch black cats. Some folks claim not to believe in luck, but when they lose in a duel, you'll hear them say, "That lucky son of a gun." Oh, am I gonna do this to myself? Am I gonna be a one luck character? What a thing to do to myself. Give myself a little intelligence, at least. Oh. God. I'm gonna need some fucking endurance if I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Did that last one cost more? No. Didn't I? Yeah, I thought I miscounted something. Myself some charisma and intelligence. But I'm just make my self just unperceptive and wildly unlucky. And yeah. These 3 things combine to make a wildly clumsy character. He's a lovable oaf. He's charismatic, and he can take a hit. Those are the primary things. I just made a himbo, didn't I? I just made a himbo. Okay. I just registered what I had done after I'd already done it. Well, now I have to do it. Oops. That's not how you say yes. If I have to go back to the last page. God. Will having 1 luck actually make my game unplayable? I don't know. Okay. Why not?
Now that That don't make a lick of sense. Seems to me you're the luckiest son of a gun in New Vegas. Well, we know your vitals are good, but that don't mean them bullets didn't leave you nuttered and a bighorn a dropping. What do you say you take a seat in my couch and we go through a couple of questions? See if your dogs are still barking.
He commented specifically on my lack of luck, which is fair. Let's calm down the fucking music a little bit. Oh, there we go. Pumping up voice is better. Every game should have voice set to louder than music, especially in games that are about listening to people talk most of the time. This will also be no, not my first time. You know what? You tell me. Did I play Fallout 4 with a controller or keyboard and mouse? I definitely played Fallout 3 and New Vegas off camera originally as controller games on the Xbox.
It's important that you're relaxed for this next test. Please have a seat.
So where are my clothes?
All right. I'm gonna say a word. I want you to say the first thing that comes to mind. Dog.
Cat, feed, newspaper, train, kick, dinner? Oh no. Oh no. Train? Oh, because you train dogs. Gotcha. Newspaper, feed the cat.
House.
Shelter, burglarize. Renovate, target, investment, demolish. Shelter.
Night.
Campfire, dream, shroud, sleep, treasure, silencer. Sleep.
Bandit.
Bribe, crush. What kind of crush, huh? What do you mean by crush? Stab, Swiss cheese, vaporize, reasonable. Bandit, reasonable.
Light.
Dark, heavy, beam, flash, inspiration, torch.
Mother.
Caretaker, jeans, cookie jar, tantrum, tattle, regret, human shield, regret.
Okay. Now I got a few statements. I want you to tell me how much they sound like something you'd say. First one. Conflict just ain't in my nature.
Conflict ain't in my nature. It would be fitting if he didn't like fighting, but was too good at it. Like fucking the protagonist of Drive. Or Carol from The Walking Dead. Oh, there will be some Walking Dead rants coming up sooner or later in this playthrough, I'm sure. Just both being stories about the being after the end of the world, but thinking about how to rebuild it, and at least one of the factions involved wanting to literally rebuild it as it was before, a thing worth questioning. Agree.
I ain't given to relying on others for support.
I ain't given to relying on others for that's a grammatically confusing sentence. I ain't giving to relying on others. So you don't want to rely on others for support? Disagree, I want friends?
I'm always fixin' to be the center of attention.
Disagree.
I'm slow to embrace new ideas.
Disagree. It's an intelligence charisma character. Oh, the caveman approach. I mean, fucking himbo strongly agree.
I charge in to deal with my problems head on.
Agree.
Almost done here. What do you say you have a look at this? Tell me what you see.
Lamp. Double black diamond, expert difficulty, bad dragon. Anyway, a broken chain, a chemical reaction, a shadow in a door frame, an oozing wound, an angry two-headed ant. What? A broken chain.
Okay. How about this one?
The blade of a blender. A leaf. Mostly a leaf. The top part kind of looks like a flower of some kind blooming out. It's the Seattle Space Needle. I see a priceless work of art. Some piece of space age technology. A ship at sea. I'm too embarrassed to say what it looks like.
Last one.
Not even a reaction, huh? I see two people playing patty cake. They're rubbing their hands together for warmth in the cold. A light in the darkness, a bearded man? Oh, I guess so. Mushroom cloud, a head on a pillow? How do you not see two separate people here? How do we not even slightly agree on what these things are? Y'all. Y'all. Okay, bearded man.
Well, that's all she wrote.
Is this
I
picking
don't
my
have nothing
perks?
to compare it to, so maybe you'd better just have a look at the results. See if it all seems right to you.
Time to throw away whatever he gave me and pick new things. So it's just picking the skills. Okay, well, definitely melee weapons and speech. Probably. Probably? Barter is bartering. Energy weapons is energy weapons. Explosives is explosives. Guns. Lockpick. I'm not good at that because I don't have agility. Medicine. Let's see. The medicine's pretty straightforward. It's... Let's see. Repairing can come in handy. Science. Well, I don't think I want to be unarmed skill. And specifically, I guess these are endurance because they have 21, and this must be strength because it's 23. So these are my highest skills. I feel like it's helpful to pick one of your skills as being something that's relatively high to begin with, because then you can at least have a strength. So, melee weapon and probably survival. Increases the hit points you receive from food and drink. It also helps you create consumable camp items at campfires. Okay. That's a chunk. It goes way higher. Let's see. I did pick charisma, so maybe I should just stick with speech. Create items and guns and ammunitions at reloading benches. Maintain weapons. I could use it to repair my melee weapons, which, considering the situation, if they break, I could be really shit out of luck. Yeah. We should make him handy at something. It makes sense for him to be handy. We're back-assed falling into making a character with some kind of theme.
Before I turn you loose, I need one more thing from you. I got a form for you to fill out so I can get a sense of your medical history. Just a formality. Ain't like I expect to find you got a family history of getting shot in the head.
You don't know. There we go. This is the fun part, the traits. This is what I completely forgot about the part where you pick 3 skills that are your better skills. So I thought this was going to be what was coming from the other thing. So I get to pick 2. We're going to be here for a while. You got to read all these. It's important. Built to destroy. All weapons have 30% chance to critically hit, but equipment condition decays 15% faster. I'm not going to be depending. I don't think I'm going to be depending on crit chance with my luck. Claustrophobia. You have a fear of enclosed spaces. You gain +1 special attribute when outside, but suffer -1 when indoors. To all attributes? All of my memories of every important story beat or even quest in all of Fallout as a concept happens basically almost always indoors. So this seems like a huge negative. Early bird. +2 to each of your special attributes from 6 AM to 12 PM, but -1 from 6 PM to 6 AM when you're not at your best. It's a net positive overall, but it's a lot of time to be at -1 either way. Energy weapons. +1 perception, but only when you have glasses. You're good-natured at heart. You're more prone to solving problems with your mind than violence. Gain +5 to barter, medicine, repair, science, speech, but have -1 to energy. So +5 to all the things that I specifically I'm not good at it, except for repair, I guess. Heavy-handed. Your melee and unarmed attacks do more damage, but less critical hit damage. I don't think I'm going to be critting because of the nature of my luck situation. So order, you can carry more, but anytime you're not carrying enough, you lose stats. What the fuck? When your health drops below 50%, you gain 15% more damage, but also suffer -2 to agility and perception attributes, which are already not great. 10 plus AP, but your reckless nature causes you to have -2 damage threshold. Logan's loophole. No one's going to put you out to pasture because you're going to stay young and level 21 forever. You'll never again become addicted to chems, and they'll last twice as long. But after 21, you can kiss experience, perks, and skill points goodbye. I think it's saying. They're saying I'll hit level 21 and then never level again. What's the level cap? Like 30? Plus 10 AP, but oh, same thing as before. Frag grenades and throwing spears. Better at throwing. Skilled. You're not skilled. You're skilled but not experienced. You gain plus 5 points to every skill, but you suffer -10% experience gain from now on. That's a rough thing to start with. Small frame. Due to your small frame, plus 1 agility. But you cripple more. No, thank you. And guns and energy weapons. Wild Wasteland unleashes the most bizarre and silly elements of post-apocalyptic America. Not for the faint of heart or the serious of temperament. So some absolute bullshit's gonna happen. Well, this is a Let's Play, so I guess it's basically mandatory. And also none of them sounded that good. So let's be better at melee and have entertaining things happen in my Let's Play, please.
Alright, I guess that about does it. Come with me, I'll see you out.
Yeah. There's one thing I was tempted to install that would make the whole game have less resources.
Here, these are yours. Was all you had on you when you was brought in. I hope you don't mind, but I gave the note a look. I thought it might help me find a next of kin. But it was just something about a platinum chip. Well, if you're heading back out there, you ought to have this. They call it a Pip-Boy. I grew up in one of them vaults they made before the war. We all got one. Ain't much use to me now, but you might want such a thing after what you've been through. I know what it's like having something taken from you. And put this on too, so the locals don't pick on you for lacking modesty. Never was much my style anyway.
Thanks for patching me up, Doc.
Don't mention it. It's what I'm here for. You should talk to Sunny Smiles before you leave town. She can help you learn to fend for yourself in the desert. She'll likely be at the saloon. I reckon some of the other folks at the saloon might be able to help you out too. And the metal fella, Victor, who pulled you out of your grave. Anyway, you ever get hurt out there, you come right back. I'll fix you up. But try not to get killed anymore.
How do you even pull somebody out of a grave? Like, was I buried fully, or did they just shoot me into the grave and then walk away? I can't imagine the universe where you were shot, buried, and then dug back up and still alive. Like, just the bit. Do you think the Earth would take care of that for you? You know? Feel like I'm on the right page. Let's see. Ballard New Vegas allows you to play in a new hardcore mode that greatly increases the challenge of the game. In this mode, stim packs heal over time and cannot mend broken limbs. Rad away removes radiation over time, ammunition has weight, and dehydration is a constant concern. They say increased difficulty, but in my experience, this kind of mode just makes the game more tedious in a way that's like rough when you're just trying to make a video series for people. But yeah, the reason I was tempted by have the this is actually the thing that came up when I was thinking about the famine mod, is I didn't want to make the game actively hard necessarily. I just like the idea on the surface of like a mod that would reduce how many items there are to pick up in the entire game. Because my enemy is the idea of like walking around trying to pick up every, like, you know, constantly scavenging the entire environment. On the scale of BioShock, it's more manageable. Like, it's a series of small bespoke levels that you play through in linear order and so on. But in something the scale of Fallout, having that level of environmental clutter to sift through is kind of a lot. Fallout 4 tried to make it kind of meaningful, but also kind of made it more flat and sludgy by being like, this stuff all turns into adhesive, and this stuff turns into metal, and go make some benches out of it. There was attempts that made sense, but overall, encouraging players just to constantly turn every house over in the entire open world map for infinite copy-pasted, like, bottles and tubs of glue isn't the most exciting thing ever. But I'm gonna go without this. Ain't that a kick in the head? Ah, my eyes. Old world blues. You've gotten a fragmented signal in your Pip-Boy, a coded transmission to some sort of sad, jazzy undercurrent that makes your head hurt. As far as you can tell, it appears to be an invitation to the midnight science fiction feature at the Mojave Drive-In. Please arrive early to catch the trailers. The reunion. Your Pip-Boy has received a signal. Coordinates to lead to the canyon wreckage west of Prim. Following the coordinates are the words Courier 6. It's signed Ulysses. Happy Trails Expedition. Your Pip-Boy has picked up a radio broadcast from the Happy Trails Caravan Company. They're looking for one more member for an expedition to Zion Valley. Man, we gotta come up with better ways of integrating DLC than just shoving it in your face the moment you start playing the game and out into the open world and having 50 pop-ups in a row. One of my favorite changes from Dark Souls 2 to Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin was that they made the 3 keys that unlock the 3 DLCs areas things you had to find via exploration in specific parts of the game, instead of just being like, fuck it, you got to the open world, here's every single DLC at once. It's a bit much. Gunrunner's Arsenal. The ongoing conflict in the Mojave Wasteland has kicked weapon manufacturers into high gear. All major and minor weapon dealers in the region are rolling in new weapons, ammunition types, and modifications. Head to the nearest participating vendor to peruse the merchandise. Alright. We done yet? Hello, Vegas. One of the things in here was also to restore level geometry and like pieces of scenery that were removed to improve performance on consoles. So if something looks different, that's why. I won't notice which ones are different because I don't have the game memorized like some of you probably do. You picked up a radio broadcast inviting you to the grand opening of the Sierra Madre Casino. I don't even know which one of these are DLCs, honestly. I just know they're throwing me every quest at once, to the point where I don't know which one might be the main one. I think you kind of start off with no main one, just a vague hint that this is platinum chip and the idea of you might want to go to, there we go, tab opens this up. There's the vague idea that you might want to go to Vegas. What have I done to myself? Alright, so one of my goals will be to find a melee weapon. It's a good goal to have at this point. I guess that counts. I'm wearing my jumpsuit. So in this game, we're immediately hinted at the idea, they immediately recreate the aesthetic of being a Vault Dweller character, but we are actually not a Vault Dweller. Unfortunately, I can't just sit here and listen to music all the time, which sucks, because for me, part of the identity of Fallout 3 in New Vegas was the experience of listening to the radio over and over again, and then being able to relate to my grandparents when I would be like, I would know who the Andrews sisters were all of a sudden and stuff like that. And because I'd listened to Civilization 500 times playing a very long game that doesn't have that big of a soundtrack for how long it is. In my Fallout 3 series that didn't make it very far, but it was like a Patreon sponsored thing where I essentially decided to speedrun the story as fast as possible, but I didn't end up finishing it because the Patreon people didn't commit to it all the way. What I started doing is I started trying to do little covers of the songs that weren't very well produced, but they were there, just to try to incorporate the music back into the game because it felt so missing the whole time. Alright, where's my actual quest log? Here we go. Back in the Saddle. Talk to Sunny Smiles in the Prospector Saloon. When I heard Back in the Saddle, I figured that was the real story quest, and everything else was more questionable. There we go. That's how I actually get my weapon out. As weapons go, melee weapons, this one's probably not ideal. But yeah, while I was installing the Viva New Vegas or whatever, whatever, the thing I said at the beginning of the game, of the video, I specifically skipped over ones that would change certain elements that were changing gameplay too much. Like one of them added a sprint button, and I'm like, it's just not in the game. That seems out of place to do. So no, thank you. Ah, it requires key. We're not getting in there then. Not for now. There was additional mods that like it gives you a sprint button, but also gives the enemies a sprint button and teaches them how to use it, and it is kind of interesting, but I didn't want it to actively make the game unrecognizable. Hello, I have a knife. Would you like to chat?
If you're looking for supplies, Chet over at the general store can help you out.
Chat. Yeah, the one covered in lights. Prospector Saloon. Surprised that one entire light's just... Oh, that one's half fading out, though. Oh, did this used to have... It might have just been painted on there. It's weird that only part of it's lights, though. Go on and get! There we go. I shoveled your driveway. That'll be $15.
Howdy. What can Easy Pete do for you?
Why are you called Easy Pete?
Was a prospector until I decided to settle here to get away from the NCR. Now we'll just take it easy and help out with the Brahmin and Bighorners.
You were a prospector? Like, digging for gold and silver?
Nah. Means I poke through old buildings looking for working tech and such. Some folks just call it salvaging, but never liked the term. Way I see it, salvage means it's broken, near worthless. Me, I look for the good stuff. Guns, chems, spare parts. Good money in it.
Did you ever find anything good while prospecting?
Nope. Had a pretty good claim once, way out east by the river, but got run off by raiders. Eventually got too old to keep going out.
What's wrong with the NCR?
Don't get me wrong, the NCR's got a lot of decent folk in it. It's just that they make you part of them whether you like it or not. Towns like Goodsprings and Prim don't stay independent for long, not if you've got something the NCR wants. Still, the NCR keeps the Legion away.
An NCR a date keeps the Legion away. What about the Legion?
They're slavers, led by a guy named Caesar, or Caesar. Not sure how you're supposed to say it. A couple of years ago, they tried to take over Hoover Dam, but the NCR beat them back. The NCR didn't or couldn't finish the job, though. The Legion's got its strength back and is getting ready for another round at the dam. My money's still on the NCR winning, but you never know. We've been hearing stories about legionaries on the Nevada side of the river, so keep a gun handy. You don't want to get caught by them.
What's so important about Hoover Dam?
The dam powers a lot of New Vegas, and then there's all that clean water lying in Lake Mead, too. Anybody who owns the dam owns the territory.
What do you use the Bighorners for?
Meat and hide, mostly. Can't put a pack on them. They just lay down until you take it off. Can find a bunch of wild ones high up in the hills, but gotta be careful around them. They can put up a decent fight if cornered.
You gotta hand to the Bighorners. They unionized and they made their points and they got what they want just through passive resistance whenever anyone actually put a pack on their back. Do you know anything about the people who attacked me?
The one in the fancy suit seemed to be calling the shots. That's as much as I know. Other folks in town might know more. Word of advice, though, if you ever catch up with him, watch out. The man's got cold eyes like a snake. Can't be trusted, I'd say.
So the main thing we have to go on is that we know that he's with Caesar's people because that was just called out in the cutscene. I especially am aware now because like Caesar's Legion is just a thing that I'm like vaguely aware of, along with the NCR and other factions in this game, just from reputation alone over the years. Whereas like when I first played this game, I don't think I even registered the that I had received that information in the opening cutscene because I didn't know what the fuck the world was yet. You know any? Do you know anything about Victor?
The machine? Harmless, no matter what Trudy says. She thinks it's hiding something, but I think it's just a broken down relic with no place to be.
Goodbye.
Keep your gun handy if you go poking around some of the abandoned places around here, like the schoolhouse. Critters move in there sometimes.
I have a knife. I'm gonna be so scary. Scariest man that ever lives. I'll give you guys an hour for the first episode just because character creation do be that way. That is a wide door. It just feels so wide. Doggy?
Cheyenne, stay. Don't worry, she won't bite unless I tell her to.
You scared the shit out of me. I thought you were the Wasteland survival lady. Looks exactly like Moira. Doc Mitchell said you could teach me to survive in the desert.
Yeah, I guess there's a thing or two I could show you. Sounds like you need all the help you can get after what they done to you. Meet me outside, behind the saloon.
I have a knife. Wow, that's an anti-gravity dog. You see that running animation? Oh. I don't think that's quite what chivalry looks like. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. Don't let her through. That looks like a workbench. Reloading bench. I heard that described earlier. I was, oop, how do I leave? Exit. That's a weird button to press for that. Skill requirement and ingredients. So I have neither of those is what is the takeaway here? Or it's when I click on certain things? Oh yeah. With the repair of, so I have 32 out of 25, so I can break down a repair kit. That's not making a thing at all. Oh, it's a long fucking menu. You better know what you're looking for. Okay.
Now, see the sarsaparilla bottles on the fence there? Take this and try to hit a couple of them.
Oh, look at those big eyes. The dog was really uncanny until it made eye contact, and then I'm like, oh no, it's cute. Sarsaparilla bottles. Oh, that's not a good sign.
That's the right idea. Look down the sight.
Did I just hit 2? Did I see that right?
Try crouching down and staying still. It'll help your aim.
Oh, it did help.
Well, that's a start. But I don't reckon you came to me to learn to fight sarsaparilla bottles.
I don't know. How dangerous are they?
I gotta go chase geckos away from our water supply anyway. Darn critters are attracted to it. Why don't you come along?
Sure. How big could they be?
Follow me. It's just down to the southeast a short ways.
Irony is a narrative device in which... Alright. How do I weapons? Is this the only way to change weapons? Slow way. Look at that dog's running animation. This was made by someone who's never seen a dog before. It's like when you see like Renaissance era paintings of dogs and you're like, what the fuck did they think a dog was? This one's not massively off on appearance. It's just like, that's just not what they look like when they move. Like at all. Also, like, the tail flopping vertically, like, there's so many things wrong here. Look at him go. Alright. Oh, that's a nice color gradient, though. That's nice to look at. Where are we going? Can I have your dog?
Hear that up on the ridge behind me there? We got some geckos to clear out.
All right.
Bunch of little monsters is what they are. Seems like Doc Mitchell treats more gecko bites than anything else. Let's see if we can get a little closer. If we move quietly, we can get the jump on them. More likely to hit something vital that way.
Little do you know how bad my stealth is. Before we do that, would potentially be good to know. Save on weight, rest, difficulty normal. Controls. Action mapping. Quick save, F5, okay. That's what I was looking for. It's just good to know what the save button is.
Go give 'em hell.
Be able to push that every now and then.
Oh, that's it.
I don't think I can stealth very well. Oh my god! Look at him! Oh, they're so goofy looking. You're welcome, I helped. I helped so much. And I've never felt so more helpful than I did right just now. Nope, did I just razz myself up? I just cooked myself up with a slice of that raspberry pie. Alright.
See? You're getting the hang of it. There's 2 more wells that still need clearing. You want, you can come along. It'd be worth a few caps to me.
Sure, I might even help a little bit.
Shouldn't take more than a couple minutes, especially with 2 of us. Come with me.
Why'd you walk back this way if we're going... Okay. I guess maybe she was just walking back to the stealth spot, because that's where she was last scripted to be.
I'm taking you down.
Hi! Oh. Well, that went alright. Where are you going? Yeah, I immediately don't feel like looting all of them, so let's keep going. An upside of having a high strength score is definitely going to be just being able to carry more. That's not a gecko. Well, gosh dang, we're saving somebody's life unless they die on my way there. You never know. That fucking splurch sound. No, she's dead. I was not landing hits. Dang it, I specifically tried to fight more safely to not hit you. Field hand outfit, that might be helpful. Hang on a minute, there might be something ethically dubious about what I'm doing here. Hey, don't notice the part where I strip the body, okay? Don't think about that too much. Melee weapon speech, barter survival. Oh. Well, that's worse. Does it have better... It has 2 damage thresholds, so that's better. Is this thing... Does this Vault's jumpsuit always increase stats that you started with? Or did I coincidentally pick 2 stats that it gives you? Oh wait, never mind, I don't have speech. I do have melee weapons. I thought about speech. No, I do have speech? No, I don't, do I? I did, right, the plus sign is for the suit. Yeah, I did melee weapons, repair, and survival. I just usually do speech.
Ah, hell's bells. There's not a day passes by I don't tell people not to come here by themselves. Some people, your word just isn't good enough for them. Then this happens. Well, it's a part of life out here. Best to accept it. But you did what you promised. Staying out here with me. Here's my end of the deal. One more thing I wanted to show you. Thought I might teach you about living off the land and making useful things for yourself. Interested?
Couldn't hurt.
Alright then. We'll need a couple ingredients to get started. Gonna want some xander root and a brock flower. Let me think now. I know I've seen brock flowers growing up at the graveyard, and I seem to remember there being xander root over by the schoolhouse. Bring those on back to me, and we'll get cooking.
Okie dokie. Doggy. Well, that's going to be the start of this. Our probably very long adventure in the Wasteland. Second time you guys picked a Bethesda game, and a surprisingly long time actually. Once I changed the rules so that instead of playing the given game for a month, and then having just because originally I structured the Patreon around having a monthly vote, because that just seemed like the obvious thing to do because it charges every month. And I was like, this is kind of not, this doesn't really work for Let's Plays. Like most games won't be done in only a month. So should we restructure it so we vote whenever games are done instead of every month? And the moment that choice was made, I think immediately afterwards you guys picked, I'm pretty sure you guys immediately picked Morrowind. So we dove in deep immediately, and so I did my Morrowind playthrough. And I think that's the last time I touched a Bethesda game. Now that they've really been putting anything out to look forward to. But this will be worth checking out. This isn't really a Bethesda game, is it? I think they're involved on some level, and it's a modification, iterative sequel to their previous game. But no, it's not a Bethesda game, is it? So that was... Someone was just chomping at the bit that I was even saying that. You know what I mean. Or you don't. Either way, see you next time.